Hello again. I'm making another video already. Tonight I saw The Age of Stupid, and it once again makes me feel very pessimistic about humanity's future. Talking about how we're going to be there's going to be this meetup in an attempt to sign a global pact to reduce emissions dramatically to sustainable levels by something like 2060 or something like that. And they say even if they pass this, they say the point is going to be to keep the climate change between 2 and 6 degrees. If it's over 2 already, bad things start to happen. If it's over 6 degrees, then human life, or in fact all life on this planet, will be destroyed. That's what they say. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. I'm not so sure all life would be destroyed, but it certainly, they make it seem as if humans have no chance once it moves to 6 degrees. So, but meanwhile, they say if they pass this legislation in December, there'll be a 50-50 chance that we will be able to avert the worst crises. And even this agreement is not a sure thing. They're saying that the fact there's a lot of, obviously industry is going to be against it, and there's a lot of question about whether or not it'll be passed. I guess, I'd like to say, for one, obviously we should try to see if we can get this thing passed, but the other thing is that I hate to be, I hate to be one of the people who's not helping the problem through pessimism, but the reality of the matter is, I think on top of our own contribution to the warming of this planet, I think the planet does go through cycles, and I think we are in a natural warming period. So even if we do stop this pollution, I would not be surprised if we didn't set something in motion that was already going to happen, and we've only accelerated it to a point where it's going to quickly become unmanageable. The glaciers are melting in the Himalayas, and they provide water for 1.5 billion people in that area, in Asia, in various countries around there. And really, there's no way to put that ice back once it's melted. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's it. So, we can do what we can, and we can try to prevent the worst problems. But I assume there's no way to put it back. I don't know that much about the glaciers, but they certainly make it seem like it's on a steady retreat. And I would think that even if we stopped producing a lot of emissions, the ice isn't just going to start reappearing by itself, because, it looks to me like this is a process that's going to continue to go on regardless of what we do. So, I'm concerned. In my life, I'll probably be about maybe 60 or 70 when things really start to get bad. Now, it'll be near the end of my life, but, the whole run-up to that is probably not going to be super pleasant. And especially, that's a bad time to have to deal with a lot of, problems. Of course, any time's a bad time to have to deal with a lot of problems, as long as you're not going to die within the next 10, 20 years. So, I guess, I'm concerned about it. I look around, and people are not willing to change. It's hard to change. Even I'm not willing to change. You grow accustomed to a certain level of comfort in your life. You're raised with advertising promising you the best things in the world. I still don't have maybe I don't have the best things in the world, but I actually do have some of the best things in the world, because I do live in a developed country that uses a shitload of fossil fuel. So, I'm part of the problem. And, it's really hard to expect people who have become accustomed to a certain level of prosperity to say, well, you have to give that up for the good of the environment. Because that's really what needs to happen. We need to change. They had Thom Yorke on, and he was talking about how, economic growth, into the, infinite future is not a possibility. So, something like that. I forget exactly what he said, but I didn't say it very well. But you know what I mean. So, and I agree with him entirely. But I wonder, what is Thom Yorke doing? I mean, it seems like he's doing something. I'm not trying to put him on any kind of a trip or anything, but all I'm saying is it just doesn't look good. I don't see people changing. I was in that movie theater. There were mostly older people who were concerned, but where were the younger people? There was a couple of younger people in the theater. That was it. Younger people are not getting out. They're not making their voices heard. And meanwhile, even if they were making their voices heard, there's an entire conservative movement on the other side that does not want to see their gas guzzlers taken away, that does not want to have to make any kind of sacrifices, that have no interest in spending extra money on sustainable agriculture. So it's a major dilemma, and the only thing that could possibly win it over for environmentalism would be more money in environmentalism, and I don't see that happening because it does seem as if what's good for business is not usually good for the environment. So we have a serious problem. I'm not optimistic about it. I'd say try to get this agreement passed in December, but I'm regardless of whether or not it passes, I'm still extremely pessimistic. There are a lot of pressures against saving humanity here, and right now, our extinction is the most likely possibility within the next 100 to 150 years, as far as I can tell. I don't know what. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is a sad message, but just telling you what I'm seeing right now. It's sad.